Welcome back to the smartest year ever, our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalist. My name is Gordy, hello, and I was just wondering, have you ever seen a cat living with a penguin? What happens when you bring house cats to one of the most remote places on Earth and then leave them there for 70 years? Give me 5 minutes. I bet you can work this into a conversation today, and like and subscribe if you haven't, so you can keep up. I do this every single day. Let's talk about the feral cats of the Kerguelen Islands. The Kerguelen Archipelago, also called the Desolation Islands, sounds nice, sits in the southern Indian Ocean, 2,000 miles from the nearest continent. It's one of the most isolated land masses on the planet. No native human population, no commercial flights, obviously, no hotels, just French scientists, ice, wind, and volcanic rock. But there is one thriving apex predator. Weighing in at a lean 8 to 15 pounds of pure predatory efficiency, standing a mere 9 to 10 inches at the shoulder, but casting a shadow far, far larger from the windswept plains, the rocky shores, and the very heart of the Kerguelen Islands, the undisputed, unchained apex predator, ladies and gentlemen, the domestic cat. In the 1950s, French researchers and weather station workers brought cats to control the rat and mouse populations aboard their supply ships at the Port-au-Français station. The rodents had arrived earlier, hitching rides with 19th century sealing expeditions, and quickly multiplied with no predators to check them. But the cats handled the rats just fine, and then they turned on the birds. Kerguelen is home to dozens of seabird species, many of which nest on the ground and evolved in isolation without any mammalian predators. So for these salty sailor cats, they were very easy prey. Within decades, feral cats were prowling the island's cliffs and coves, snatching eggs, chicks, and adult birds, some of which were endangered. And it's weird to see a cat and a penguin together. You know, it's just not the typical animal duo. And because, apparently they sometimes eat penguins too. By 1992, researchers estimated that there were over 5,000 feral cats on the island. I read that these cats are getting pretty big and strong, like 11 pounds in lean body mass with strengthened skulls and jaws, and that they shelter in small rocky little caves, just like the caves are littered with skeletons of their prey. And to protect the native wildlife, the French government attempted to eradicate the cats using poison, trapping, and shooting. And these campaigns have had some success in small targeted areas, but full island-wide eradication has proved nearly impossible. Kerguelen is massive with over 2,700 square miles, and it's brutally rugged. And these cats are cats, so they're elusive, and their population, though reduced, it still persists. And this isn't an isolated story. I mean, it's a story about an isolated island, but there are similar stories, is what I mean. You can find similar cautionary tales on islands across the globe. In New Zealand, cats and stoats. Stoats are very cute, by the way. But they also devastated native birds like the kakapo and kiwi. And when researching this, I learned about the kakapo. And when I first saw it, I was like, damn. That looks like some sort of parrot owl. That's what I'm going to call it on Smartest Year Ever. And then I learned that it's actually sometimes called the owl parrot. Another fun fact for you, it is the only flightless parrot. Right? Cool. But back to cat massacres. On subantarctic Macquarie Island, cats wiped out entire penguin colonies before being finally eradicated in the year 2000. And on Marion Island, between South Africa and Antarctica, 19 cats were introduced in 1949, and that number ballooned to 3,400 within 30 years, triggering one of the world's first full-scale cat eradication campaigns, after one of the biggest cat orgies of all time, apparently. But the Kerguelen story stands out for just how cut off the island is and how long the feral cat population went essentially unchecked. Like, you think you're bringing in pest control, but you're actually reshaping an entire ecosystem. I just keep thinking of that song about the woman that swallowed the fly and then swallowed like increasingly larger animals to try to catch the prior animal. I guess that woman was a cautionary tale about ecological invasion, what I didn't realize at the time. Just deeply allegorical. But yeah, so there you have it. The next time someone tells you their cat would never survive in the wild, you can just tell them about the Kerguelen predators. House cats essentially turned apex hunters on a frozen volcanic island 2,000 miles from anything. And I just think about being shipwrecked and then finally making it to some random island and then just being surrounded by a bunch of house cats. Pretty surreal, I'd imagine. Go check out my sources, which can be found in the YouTube description. Give me a rate, like, subscribe, follow, share this with someone who likes this sort of thing. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say, but share this with someone. Share this with someone who has a cat. That should be a good amount of shares. Go check out the 1-minute version or shorter. That little short version can be found across social media. I'm there at smartest ear ever. That's how you find me, just like you found me here. And in the meantime, stay curious and stay clever on our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalists. I will see you tomorrow in the smartest year ever. My cats are battling right now. Look at them. What are you guys doing? See you tomorrow.